Welcome to the next session. In the last session, we added a PaloAlto firewall into the Panorama and we saw some of the main tabs of a Panorama WebUI. So the main tabs included the dashboard. So when an admin logs into the Panorama WebUI or the web user interface, the admin logs into the dashboard tab by default. And then there are various other tabs as well for various configuration settings and some monitoring purposes. So the configuration tabs include the Panorama tab, the templates tab, and the device groups. So these three are the tabs for configuration elements which can be managed via the Panorama. Then for monitoring purposes, we have two tabs that are for similar to the firewalls as well, ACC and the monitor. So the ACC is the application center. And then we have an option to commit. So similar to the PaloAlto firewall, where we have the option to commit the changes, like commit the candidate config to the running configuration. We similarly have the commit option on Panorama. So via this option on Panorama, we can commit the changes on the Panorama and to the firewalls. So now let's have a look into these various configuration tabs in more detail. So the key configuration tabs, as we mentioned earlier as well, from Panorama are, first one is the Panorama tab, then the device groups, and then the third one is the templates. When an admin logs into the Panorama for the first time, or unless these device groups or templates are configured, these tabs or these specific 4 tabs, like the policy and the objects tab under the device group, and the network and the device under the templates, these are not visible. So when an admin will be logging initially to the Panorama, the only tabs which will be visible are the dashboard, ACC, monitor, and Panorama. These two, or like these 4 entities, policies, objects, network, and device, won't be visible to the admin. The admin needs to configure these under the Panorama, and then these will be visible to the admins. So the first tab, that is the Panorama tab, it is used to manage the Panorama device configuration, like the IP address of the Panorama management interface or any other interface on Panorama, the DNS servers which the Panorama will use, the NTP server, or like if you are configuring Panorama in high availability, then those settings, and downloading the updates for the Panorama or the devices, or like the managed devices like the firewalls. So those software updates and the dynamic updates. So all those things are managed using the Panorama tab from here. Then this device group and templates, these won't be visible initially, and we will be talking about these at a later point of time. So first, let's log into the Panorama and see what we have. So this is our Panorama server, and we are going to log into this. So a similar kind of warning you will get initially unless a device group is created. So we can see there are no device groups, please create one. So this means we won't be able to see the device group tab. So policies objects under the device group won't be visible. So we can click OK. This was just kind of a notification. So when we log in to the Panorama, we get a message as well, welcome to the Panorama. So this will vary based on the software version of the Panorama or the PaloAlto firewall when we are logging into that. And if you want to go through this, you can go through that. Else, if you want that this message doesn't come up each time, then you can check this option, do not show again, and click close. and there are some 3 pages available for this. So this is just informative information. So close. And as we mentioned initially, we will just see 4 tabs: dashboard, ACC, monitor, and the panorama. So under the panorama tab, we have all the options related to the panorama management, like the management settings or the host name for the panorama, the interface settings, the time zone, and then the device certificate, authentication settings. So all this is corresponding to the panorama server itself. We have the options to like reboot the panorama or shut down the appliance, configure the SNMP, like the SNMP string and SNMP servers, the services, like which services or like how the panorama will connect to the panorama cloud to download the updates, the DNS servers, the NTP servers, and then which interfaces you want to use for the specific panorama services, and some other options. Then we have the high availability tab to configure the high availability for the panorama itself. Note this is high availability for the panorama, not for the PaloAlto firewall. Then under the configuration audit, we can see the various audit options, or like do a comparison between the different configs of panorama. So the like the running configuration, the different versions, or like the candidate configuration, or the configs which have been saved by the admins. So we can choose 2 versions, like let's say version 12 and version 11, and then click go. So we will get to know which changes has been, or like which changes have been made by the admins. Then there are these different tabs, and then under the managed devices, we will add the PaloAlto firewalls, which will be managed by the panorama server. We can view the health status as well for the various firewalls which will be added. So we can see for this firewall which we added in the last session, the host name, and then the utilization, like CPU utilization on data plane is 0, but on the management plane it's 2. Memory utilization is 24%, and it has the number of ports. And we can make use of the troubleshooting tab as well, selecting the specific firewall and provide the IP or the destination or the application, and see whether that traffic will be allowed or denied by the specific firewalls. And then when we were saying that we need to add a template and device group so that those 2 other tabs are visible, we need to add those via this templates and device group tab. Then when we will scroll down, we will have the various options like the software. This software is related to the panorama software, and we can see that the current version on the panorama server is 10.1.0. that's downloaded and it's installed, so that's why we are seeing an option reinstall. And we have another version downloaded, so that's 10.1.4, and we have the option to install it. So let's say if you want to download something like 10.1.2, then we just need to click this download and it will be downloaded automatically if this panorama has internet connectivity. Right? And if let's say if the panorama doesn't have internet connectivity, then the admin can log into the PaloAlto support portal, download the specific file specific to the model, like the physical appliance or the virtual file, and after downloading that, the user can just click this upload button, and then after upload that, follow the on-screen instructions and go, bingo. Then these are the dynamic updates which are available for this panorama. And under the device deployment, we have the options for the various specific firewalls. So which operating system, or like the software version, like 10.1.4 for the virtual machine, or like the virtual edition firewall has been downloaded, and we can install it if we want to upgrade our firewall. Similar options exist for the global protect agent, the dynamic updates like for the antivirus application, the wildfire updates. So these can be downloaded. So all these options are for manual things. There are some options for the automatic deployment as well, and we will talk about those at a later point of time. So this is an overview of the Panorama tab.